bad pronunciation, having a lack of vocabulary, making grammar mistakes. Do you still suppose that these things stop you to boost your target language level? I'm Avrina Ray, I'm non-native English speaker, and these aren't the mistakes that hold you back as a language learner. I mean it. So in this episode, we're gonna figure out real mistakes that decrease your language improvement, work on your mindset, and you will discover easy peasy steps to fix that and get better. If you're new here, welcome to our team, buddy. And if you have any questions or things that bothers you in your self-education process, feel free to ask me in the comments below. Let's start with the first language learning mistake. Freaking out about making mistakes. Do not beat yourself up about making mistakes. It's an essential part. Embrace being a beginner and learn from your mistakes. When I was in my first year of university, I couldn't say a word in English in comparison to my peers because at school I studied German as a foreign language and I had to carry on improving it. But since that year, this field has changed and I had to catch up on my peers and their English level. So I accepted this situation, and only one option I had was to start using English right out of the gate, because I knew by avoiding speaking English until I can say something perfectly, I will silence myself. So how to fix that? Learn to learn from your mistakes. At the end of the day, take a few moments to write down all the mistakes that you made with your language learning. Then, next to each mistake, write down what you learned from this mistake and what you should pay attention to. After a while, your mind will naturally start to shift from being stressed out about your mistakes to looking at them as an opportunity for improvement. Don't squander your time. Set aside a specific time each day to practice the language, but make sure you don't overdo it or become burnt out. Take regular breaks throughout your study session to give your mind a chance to rest. Personally, I'm used to using Pomodoro technique for studying. I pick up a random video on YouTube channel and play it as a background, so I don't have to worry about the time. Because, sometimes I can bury myself in my books and forget about taking a break to have a lunch, for example. Mistake number 3, thinking that you'll never pronounce it right. At the beginning of my English learning journey, I supposed that English pronunciation and spelling is so weird and that I will never be able to get used to it. Like, why is the O spelling pronounced so differently in though, through, thought, tough, rough, cuff? As an English speaker, you have an advantage of already being comfortable in a language filled to bursting point with complicated phonetic rules. But what can you do as a language learner? Identify the phonetic rules in your target language that give you the most trouble. Then take a list of words and try to say them yourself. You can also check your pronunciation from home by searching for the words on these websites and to see how native speakers pronounce them. Then just repeat again and again, and muscle memory will eventually take over. Your mouth and tongue will have a bit of work to do at first to learn how to pronounce these new sounds. With repetition, you will eventually be pronouncing even the toughest words with ease. Mistake number 4, spending all your time studying from textbooks. My biggest mistake was using only textbooks as a main source, and it caused some difficulties when I was trying to listen to native speakers and understand them while we were having a conversation. It was pretty tough because in real life conversation, people speak a little bit different. They have their own accents and intonation if we compare them to the audio materials that attach to the common, standard, typical textbooks. Keep using textbooks, but don't forget to add podcasts, movies, or cartoons, whatever magazines or books that you're interested in to your study process as well. Mistake number 5, believing immersion is all about living abroad. Look, I was born in Russia. I still live in Russia, and moreover, I've never been abroad except for one trip to Turkey when I was 11, so it doesn't count. If you believe that you can only be immersed in a language by living abroad, then you're not the only one. I've been there as well. Unfortunately, this is a big mistake because the internet makes it really, really simple to immerse yourself in a new language wherever you live. To be frank, immersion has less to do with your location than your environment. Build a lifestyle where exposure to your target language is around every corner through music, TV shows, movies, software, and the people you see regularly. How to fix that? Load up foreign language files like podcasts, audiobooks, music, etc. on your phone. So that you have natives speaking to you wherever you go. Or you can subscribe to native bloggers on YouTube or Instagram or other social media platforms that you use on the daily basis. Step number 2, change the language on all your digital interfaces to give yourself full virtual immersion. And the last step here, start searching the information online in your target language. And one more mistake that we make as a language learners is walking away from the language when we think we have finished it. Learning a language is an ongoing process, and even if you think that you have already mastered it, there is always more to learn. Do not become complacent. Continue reading and listening to materials in the language to keep it fresh, and don't forget to practice your speaking skills as well. Ready to have some fun learning a new language? Then take actions on what you just learned and you will be glad you did it. Also, be a good friend and share the link on this video on your social media platforms and tag me. And I want to remind you that a share from you would seriously help a lot with the growth of this channel, and your support means a world to me because this is how you motivate me to create more useful content for you. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, and let me know in the comment what would you like to discuss next time, and I'll see you next week on Friday at the same time. I do appreciate you guys. I love you. Bye.